Did beer or bread come first?
Welcome to the Anvil Union podcast. I'm your host, Chris. We got a really cool episode for you today. I want to call it like a bonus episode, but it's not really. It's just an extra special episode because we've got my favorite person in the world here, my wife, Gabby.
Hi, I'm Gabby.
So we brought Gabby in today. She has a really cool passion for history. She's a bit of a history nerd. Is that right? Yeah, that's not me speaking for you.
Just trivia in general of random facts, but I really wanted to be an archaeologist, and that was my parents were like, "There's no way you can't do it. You can't live in your car. You can't dig in dirt every day. Pick another passion." And thank God that they told me to. But either way, passion's still there. I love history, and we can find fun historical stories and everything. So that's kind of what we're going to do today: is talk about Egyptians and Sumerians and just the history of beer. So yeah.
So like if you've been keeping up with the podcast, one of my friends that I had on recently, Rick Foote, he was talking about how the brewing process is a process that's been around for thousands of years.
Right.
And if something's been around for that long, it's going to have some history behind it. So that's what today's episode is going to focus on. Before we jump into that, I'm just going to open up with some like what's going on with the brewery. Because we're not just like online products. We're trying to open a physical location. So this week we met with the city council to do a work session, and we presented to them our concept. It wasn't that they were going to give us approval or denial right then.
Right.
They seemed interested to learn more about it, so that's a good sign. But the other side of it is they have a lot of questions.
Yeah. It's definitely an innovative idea here, just combining and creating this lifestyle of let's go work out, be healthy, but also, balance is everything. And there's a bar next to the barbells. So, yeah.
That's a good name for like a little space.
Heck yeah. Slogan.
The barbell. Yeah. So they did have a lot of questions. I'm sure we're going to hear some more about that. But we should be able to get approval, like a one way or another answer this week. And
this is for zoning specifically.
Yeah. And we're still in the first week of July. So by the time you watch this episode, we will probably have an answer.
Yeah.
And so if you're curious about what that is, probably stay tuned on our social media, because as soon as we get either or, I'm sure we'll have it up on social media. So that's probably the best way to get the most up-to-date information.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? We have a Patreon account. So if you're enjoying these episodes, or you're curious and you're in the area and you want to know what the progress is on the brewery that's coming to your area, or you just like the content, go check us out on Patreon. We have availability for, there's a membership you can just go on there and sign up for. And then we have paid memberships on Patreon that help us out to get us funded for like stuff like more beer trips, merchandise, giveaways, that sort of thing, and just kind of help support us even get open as a brewery, because you need money to do that kind of stuff.
And that's something that's coming up soon, is a trip to Athens, Athens, Georgia. And what are y'all going to do?
Yeah.
Then?
So on July 11th, we're going to go to Athens. We're getting a bus full of people to meet at the Gym and Winder.
We're getting a bus.
We're getting a bus.
Will then come.
On the
bus.
It's
the people don't come with the bus.
Yeah. We couldn't buy the people. And then so a lot of people are going to get on the bus in Winder, travel to Athens this coming Saturday, and visit 3 different breweries in Athens. So like we're going to spend an hour and a half to maybe an hour to an hour and a half at one brewery, hop on the bus, drive like 5 minutes down the road, and go to another one. And so we're going to do that 3 times. We have brewery tours in the breweries lined up. We have private tastings lined up with the master brewers there. And it's going to be it's going to be educational, but fun at the same time.
Yeah. And it's not just a pub crawl. Like let's go learn how different brewers and different breweries make different beers.
Yeah.
Like their specialty.
Yep, it's super cool. If you're just wanting to learn more about beer, this is for you. If you're a beer nerd, this is for you.
Yeah.
It's going to be super cool, and it's also going to be a great chance for you to come meet the founders, myself, and I think Evan's going to be there as well. So if you're interested to learn more about the brewery, we'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in another brewery trip, because I'm sure that'll probably be over by the time this is posted. But we are planning to do more brewery trips in the future. So if you're interested in doing something like that, give us shoot us a DM or a comment, and we'll get right back to you and let you know when the next one's going to be.
Yeah.
And where it's going to be. May not be Athens again. Let's see. And then, like I said, we have Patreon account, and then we also have merch available. I'm not wearing my T-shirt today. But we have Anvil Union T-shirts, just another way to come and support us. And let's jump into the good stuff.
Yeah, let's get to some history.
Yeah.
So I feel like history has so many fun stories that, history is boring in school. It wasn't to me, but for most people, like history is just history, right? But I mean, these are real people that have lived, real stories, and I'm sure just like we get into some really awkward situations that end up being hysterical, like so did the Egyptians or so did the Sumerians and I don't know. That's just kind of what intrigues me is these are real people too. But so a lot of this information I have gathered is from he's a beer archaeologist, which is so freaking cool. His name's Patrick McGovern, and he is both a chemist and an archaeologist, so that definitely helps in this area here. He has kind of, this was not like his main focus. Like he started out as an archaeologist, and someone kind of came to him and was like, we have all these vats, but like what was in the vats? How do we figure out what was inside of these things? And so he kind of started doing all the analysis and figuring out how to pull certain elements out of the like pottery that they were finding, and was able to really like figure out a huge part of culture, because here we now have started this whole argument about like what comes first. Does bread come first or does beer come first in regards to grain, right? Mm-hmm. So we're talking like 3,500 BC. Like we're a good ways away here. So we have the Egyptians, the Sumerians, and the Sumerians they're in where Iran is today, and they are really like the first, or rather the oldest, other than the Chinese. The Chinese had a whole different beverage that was a very interesting mix that I feel like would be really popular right now, just because it was like a lot of fruit and wine and like a lot of stuff mixed together. But the Sumerians, they had this like super thick drink, and like they'd have to drink it out of reeds in order to kind of, get all of the grain out, because they didn't really like strain the grain.
I imagine also the grain was probably like floating on top. Yeah. So you use the straw to get down to the mm-hmm. clear liquid.
Mm-hmm. And it was like porridgey.
Yeah.
It was thick. And this was like also a really good source of nutrients for them as well. But so the Egyptians, let's switch to the Egyptians. They're out there in the, Aladdin hot desert in their camels building the pyramids. And as one can imagine, slightly dehydrated. And they were actually paid using beer. So they're, I hate to say keepers, but they're keepers. We'll say employers of the enslaved, they were paying their enslaved individuals with beer. And it wasn't just even like beer for them, it was beer for them and their family. So this is like a legit paycheck of, okay, here's a couple liters that I'm bringing home to my family. And the better the beer was dependent on your social class. So there's all kinds of hieroglyphics, kind of like listing out almost an accounting method of like, here's, Joe Schmo that, laid 4 bricks the other day, giant bricks, but bricks nonetheless. And so he is now being paid, 3 liters of mediocre beer because he's not quite on like the high social class level. But it's such an interesting, like we went to Rothenburg one time in Germany, and the means of payment at that point, this was, I want to say like medieval time, so 12 to 1400s, the means of payment then was salt. And that was gold, was salt. And in the Egyptians and the Sumerians had beer. Beer was their means of payment, but it wasn't even just like payment. It was also used in rituals and worship. And so that's another cool thing, is that the Sumerians have the first like written recipe, but it wasn't even used as like a written recipe. It was a hymn. It was like a praise to their god, which was Ninkasi, Ninkasi. And Ninkasi was the goddess of beer. And so they had this like hymn or poem that was basically outlined like the steps of brewing beer. And it's the same steps that we use today, and mashing your barley and soaking and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So super interesting.
I should learn that for my brew days, so I can just say a little
Right.
say a little prayer right before I start my day and make sure the brew day goes smoothly.
Yeah. I don't know. In my head, I like hear chanting of like the Lord of the Rings little, not the hobbits, but the, shoot, what are they called?
Elves?
No. The little short guys that have dwarves. Yeah. Like diggity, dig. That's what I hear in my head. It's just them like chanting this hymn or this like worship song, like soak the barley, let it burn. I don't know.
I feel like that's what Robert does on his brew days already.
Robert looks like one of the dwarfs from Lord of the Rings.
I think he is. And I think that's what he does. He does a little chant, does a little dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
something.
Then he works his magic because it's some of the best beer I've ever had. So
I hate that he's so good. I hate that he's good at things like, I love irritating him, but
he's such a good
guy. Such a and such a good
I love
brewer.
Poking him.
Yeah, for sure.
Robert, we love you.
Yeah. But so anyway, so one of the like giant places, this wasn't like beer being brewed on like a micro scale. Like, I don't know. You hear all the time about monks like brewing specifically, and like there's all these abbeys and stuff that still have their yeast that they had from 14. I mean, I know I went to an abbey in, I'm pretty sure it was Northern Ireland, and there's like one wall of the abbey still up, but they still have the original yeast from like it was a little after 1400, but like that just blows my mind. Yeah. It slightly grosses me out too, but like you're eating this yeast that's, just a couple hundred years old. It's fine. No problem. But, yeah, so they, were brewing though, like on a massive scale. And there's, in Egypt, they found these just gigantic vats that they were brewing in Abydos, Egypt. And this again was probably around like 3000 BC. So they, this guy, Patrick McGovern, he's the beer archaeologist. Like he's not the father of many nations, but the beer archaeologist. That's his nomenclature here. But he has done a lot of studies on, and don't quote me on this. I think that he did a lot of studies on those vats at Abydos and like just the giant, massive amounts of beer that they produced. And again, it was like, it's supposed to be this like sour, tangy beer that was pretty low ABV. And like the beer was brought home like to the kids, like the kids drank this too. Yeah. And they'd maybe like water it down. And, but it was just such this massive part of their community and like part of their culture. Like, again, it was monetary, like economic part of their society, and it was part of their religion, part of their praise and worship and like rituals, and like it was an all-inclusive thing.
Yeah.
And so now archaeologists are really starting to question, like, did these early humans, pre-Egyptians here, did these early humans stop foraging and start farming in order to make grain for beer? And a lot of times we were like, no, bread is first. Bread came first. But now they're starting to find that maybe it was actually beer. And it was this process that pushed that agriculture set into place. Like we pushed from foraging to what is it? Farming? It's foraging to, starts with an F. I don't know. Anyway, foraging to farming grain. Yeah.
So it was like basically like a revolution. Like it was.
Yeah. I mean, it was going from like, I don't know. Yeah. Something to the Industrial Revolution. Like it was this huge push in society. And again, there's a lot of hieroglyphics that kind of back this up. Like they're finding all these wall paintings and stuff that really show that maybe this was the case, that we like pushed from foraging into grain specific agriculture. And it's, at that point also, that's whenever they think that people were starting to find out what fermentation was in general. So, and archaeologists are pretty sure that the first found fermentation, or like the first thing that was, I don't know, drink that was discovered was mead, right? So like honey has yeast in it naturally. So it will ferment if it gets, these beehives get knocked on the ground, it rains, then this honey begins to ferment and it now turns into mead like in a couple days, right? And so this, that's kind of where they're thinking that the original like discovery of fermentation came from, is from these beehives. Beer hives. Yeah. God, we're killing it. I know we're killing it today. Awesome. So it's that's again where they're wondering, like, beer wasn't just a beverage. Like it was thick. Like it was thick. And I'm sure there was probably different kinds, just like we have now, as far as thickness goes, and what was palatable and what was not. And but it was a real source of nutrients, especially the fact that it was fermented. Like, I mean, we know now that fermentation is really important, like for your gut health and everything. And so and they really believed that their gut pretty much determined like any sicknesses that they had was based off of what was going on in their gut. Green bile means this, blue bile means that. So, which is mind blowing that here they're like thousands of years ago, and they realized that gut health is so important and stuff. And like, now we're like, oh, hey, like maybe there was something to that. Just a quick 5,000 years. And we're like, you might've been onto something.
Take your probiotics.
Right. I don't know. It's fascinating.
Yeah. That's really, really interesting. And going back to the, was it beer or bread first? Like maybe it was both at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure like, the people who discovered that when grains get moist, they, it ferments, they were probably storing grain for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Before they discovered fermentation. And maybe, and I'm sure that was at like a farmstead scale, right? Not like an industrial scale. Like a city wasn't like, I don't know, maybe a city was storing all this grain and then everyone just became suddenly aware of it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, who was it in the Bible that he was put in charge? Joseph was put in charge of all the grain, and and that was his thing. Like he had 7 years worth of grain that he was storing up for the people, and this is all kind of about the same time-ish. That's 3,500 BC is probably a little earlier than Joseph, but but along the same lines though.
Right. Yeah. And I know Joseph was storing the grains in in being anticipating the famine
Mm-hmm.
that he knew was coming. And so, like going back to your point about it, beer being like seen as a currency, like
Yeah.
sort of the same thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
grain and beer being currency. That's pretty interesting.
All right, don't mind that quick change in the camera view here. The dog's big butt just moved everything.
Big butt dog.
Big butt dog. But oh nope.
Okay. All right. Hey. Okay. All right. Sit. Good girl.
All right. So something else that's super interesting is that that women were the brewers. They were always the brewers in Egypt and Samaria. There's a ton of wall paintings and in all of the tombs in tombs and stuff in Egypt, all showing women that gathered the grain, they brewed, they were in charge of like the whole lot, which is super interesting because it was such an important part of their culture.
Yeah.
And that just shows how women were held higher than a lot of other societies that didn't necessarily hold women to certain standards, right? So that's pretty cool in and of itself also. And it really shapes how the whole just beer in general and alcohol in general, how it all like shaped their economy and it shaped their ceremonies and everything.
Yeah.
And again, there's just so many different things in tombs and on pottery, just like pointing back to this major like foundational piece of their society.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's really cool how one element can really tie in so many different areas of the community, like nutrition, economy, religion. It's all, it seems like it's bound by beer.
Yeah.
And then that might be putting it up on a pedestal, but like if you really think about it, if beer wasn't around then it, like maybe the agricultural revolution that you were talking about
exactly wouldn't have happened, or would have happened later or something. Yeah. I mean, think about food. Like every single thing that we do revolves around food right now. Like there's a christening at church, let's go eat afterwards. Thanksgiving dinner, that is a staple. We know what it is, we know what's coming. Like anything and everything that we do. 4th of July, what did we have 4th of July? Hot dogs, hamburgers, and a Boston butt. Like everything that we do revolves around food.
Yeah.
Oh, someone died in your family, let me bring you a casserole. Like I feel like it's so similar to that. And it kind of makes you question like what was the shift in that? Because where's the shift between like here beer is the center of center might be strong, but like the center of our gatherings and our I hate to say culture again, but culture, where was that shift from beer to food? Maybe just the abundance of food. That could totally be it too. I mean, I feel like we hear about famine constantly in the Middle East. So
I think the abundance and variety of food probably had something to do with it. And this is kind of like going off topic, but there were other communities in the world, especially around the medieval age, that were basically living off of beer.
Yeah.
Like, monks in Belgium, like they would do beer fasts where they would, for months, they would just drink beer and that was their nutrition.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that they would eat or drink was beer.
Right. And well, that kind of goes back to what I was saying before, was that they had this like porridge beer that they used instead of bread because it was so jam-packed with different nutrients and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure they like threw in a locust or two for a little bit of extra protein.
a little more protein.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Just an accidental locust.
Yeah.
But
maybe some locust byproduct that flew into it.
They actually, so off topic. So this guy was on Shark Tank not too long ago and he had this protein mix and it's like a crazy high protein for very low calorie, and it's made out of locust. It's just dried and crushed up locust, and everybody's like, man, this tastes great. This is so good. What is it? And he's like, it's just locust dust.
I wonder what Evan would think about that, adding locust to your diet to hit your protein goals.
Right. I mean, apparently it tastes really good though. Like everybody was like, this tastes like on point. This is really good. I would drink this every day. And then, you find out what it is and you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe I just ate that. Like, but hey,
Yeah.
if the Egyptians can do it, sure as hell we can do it too. But yeah, awesome. I don't know. There's so many cool stories though. And I'm hoping we can do one on witches and brewing. Like that one is fascinating to me. Super fascinating story there.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely be back for that and some more stories. But
yeah, we got kind of learned up about that when we stopped at a brewery in Nashville. So
and it was the coolest brewery too. And unfortunately they closed. It was what is it?
They got hit by a storm. It didn't open again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because they were really cool.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that another episode.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite beer style?
Oh, definitely. Hands down, a stout, like a thick. It has to be thick. I don't like stouts that are thin, but like
an imperial.
Yeah, an imperial like milk stout almost, or oatmeal stout.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Oh my gosh. Some kind of dessert stout. That's where it's at for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite. Nothing even comes close to it. I'd rather not drink than have something else.
Yeah. What's your favorite brewery to visit?
Ooh. Also, sadly, just closed down. It's our favorite academia in Athens. Like, oh my gosh, they killed stouts. They'd have like carrot cake stouts all the time, or it was actually a barley wine that they made. Oh, that's probably another too. I love barley wines, but it has to specifically be it's barley wine that I like, right? The one
you like barley wine?
Yeah. It has to be like a really sweet one.
Yeah.
Also
they did a carrot cake brown ale, which was
I think
that was like a couple of years ago I forget why they released it, but that was interesting.
Yeah.
Very good beer.
They come up with crazy stuff and it's always delicious, and their food was good too. Mm-hmm. But sadly, they just closed like last week.
Yep.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what is your least favorite beer style?
Oh, I don't know. What is my least favorite?
Indian Pale Ale.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. IPAs. They make me puke my brains out.
Yeah.
Turns out I have a hop intolerance. So that sucks to be married to a brewer and to have a hop intolerance.
Yeah, it sucks. I have to drink all the IPAs.
Yeah. It took me quite some time to figure out. That's why I'd have like 2 sips and then start throwing up. And I'm like, I'm not drunk. Like, I can't figure out why this is happening.
Yeah. So, I have to share with friends or just drink it all myself.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
My favorite beer style?
Yeah.
I think my favorite beer style is probably a Pilsner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think we covered that in the last episode, but Pilsners are just, they like, I don't know, like people do them differently, but I like a nice traditional Pilsner because you can, if you do it right, you can bring out some pleasant malt character, but also have like very interesting hop aromas that come with it. So it's like a very well balanced but crushable, flavorful beer to me. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. We're hoping one day we can get to Pilsen, Czech Republic. Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Next, I think one of the upcoming episodes we're going to cover barrel-aged imperial stouts. So
I like them too.
Yeah.
Stouts in general, just as long as they're like thick. They need to be thick.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come on and drink with us again when we do that.
For sure.
But we'll cover that. Again, hit us up on Patreon to keep up with what's going on. Social media as well. We are on TikTok, Facebook, and the Instagrams. And check out our other podcast episodes on YouTube.
And if you have some cool story, like cool history stories, like definitely let us know. A, I would love to research more. B, again, fun facts for trivia just randomly pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or really just any comment.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Let us know what you think. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and we will see you guys soon. Cheers.